there's still plastic on that flashing back there. You can see, look at this. Oh, what the? That one's been cut with an angle grinder. As you can tell it's cut by an angle. What is that? That's mold over the top of the clear silicone. I'm not going to touch that. That there is straight through to the sarking. There is no sealant whatsoever. What's worse about this is the fact that the guys installing it knew that that was falling backwards, and they still continued and they siliconed all of that up. Disclaimer, I'm not a licensed inspector. I'm a licensed roof plumber in Queensland, which makes I'm licensed to install cladding and roofing using metal on houses in Queensland. That's it. That's my credentials. So as far as being an inspector, I am certainly not. I'm going to start at the end of this video where I've come back to a spot where I found that I missed something. So hear me show you. Hear me show you? Let's show you now. There it is. What is wrong with this picture? What is wrong? Well, there's lots of things wrong, but that's sarking. Doesn't need to go over the top of the toe mold. Just sit over there and be pretty. It's not meant to go behind, because if water gets inside there, it's going inside. Hey there, Gladiators. I'm Kenny, and today I'm on site at a job because we've got a phone call and an email asking us to put a price in to rectify this project, and it's terrible. It is horrible, and the owner, I'm sure they're going through a world of hurt at the moment. They'd wanted this beautiful house using Colorbond cladding that they'd seen everywhere in their inspiration to build this home, and they have now not got that. So today I'm going to do a walk around this, have a look to see what has been done wrong, to make sure, to see if there's anything that is savable, and if there is, then we'll work with that, and if not, then we've got to work out what is the process and what needs to be done to deliver the end result that the client actually wanted to code and make people happy. Anyway, stay tuned, like and subscribe, and if you've got any thoughts while you're watching this video, please comment, because I see every single one of those comments and I will respond to them all. And I'm sure if you put in comments, you're going to have some banter with other people that have other opinions also. Let's get to it. And as Zahir said, so I've turned up here because the builder has gone bust on this project and it's been taken over by another builder. They've asked us to come along and have a look at the cladding, because apparently the cladding is ordinary. So let's go for a walk around the joint and see what we come up with. Right, so we've got this, what's it, interlock? It's like a 495 or some giant interlock system on here that doesn't necessarily look like a proper roll formed system. Not sure exactly what's going on here, but let's see if we can find out who supplied it and who the I can't really make out who that is. Oh no, I can't see it. Who's the supplier of this? It looks like a sticker. Not sure. Maybe we'll find some other information somewhere else. Ormo, yep, that's very good. Some trim deck. We've got some box. Look at this. There's a bunch of it. Some true core batten. Some Colorbond sitting on the floor. Hopefully there's no snakes. Use the bathroom before I go upstairs. Before I jump up, I might actually get the drone, and I'll take the drone up first. This is what I've done. I've got this on here, but I'm just going to transfer over now. Right, so here we have the house. You can see the green board there ready for the render. and there's some areas there inside that look like they're meant to be the Highland tray. It's like a 495, or it's quite a wide section you can see in there. That you can see it's been battened out, so I'm going to go up there and have a look and see what the spacings for the battens are, and what they may be, and what needs to be done to achieve that. Then over here we have, that looks like it's a standing seam, looks like a 165. It's quite a narrow profile, and so we'll have a look and see if anything needs to be done on that. And just if you come around the corner here, you'll see that they've got it's the Highland tray interlock panel, which is on the wall there. Looks like there's a bit of this, like you can see there's some water mark or some form of mark running down the side of that panel there in the middle. Then as you come around here, it's just more and more. Not sure what's really wrong with it at this point in time. However, we're going to jump up on the scaffold and have a better look. You can see on this corner here though that it's been fixed to the battens. The battens are on. I can't see what the major issue is, but it looks like something's happened in that spot. Maybe that's the point where the builder went bankrupt. I'm not sure. But apparently there's some major issues with the way that it's all been installed, and that it all needs to be ripped off and rectified. So we'll have a look when we get a bit closer. Where are we? Yeah, so here we go. There's a whole heap. Then out on the main street here, you can see that there's a heap more cladding right down on the main face of the house to the corner. So that's that left-hand side of the house. Back to the main facade. So there's a whole heap of it. So let's jump up and have a look. Bring you back into me. Rightio, let's get into this. So take two, let's back over to the scaffold. Which way to go? That way? Let's go around this way. Oh yeah, so this has had some cladding on there. It's already previously been installed. What's the spacings between this? They look like they're good and well. That's under 490 centre between there and there. That's pretty good. And then on the next one up, they've gone 600 centre. So it looks like they've followed the right path, which is good. And they're using Proctor wrap, which is also good. So, go. We've got some flashing work in there. It's been sealed. There's only one rivet in there. Code states that should be every 40 millimeters. And so just putting a rivet in there and whacking a bunch of silo underneath is not going to do the job. As the here says, do your best. Silicon the rest. You can see here that this flashing here has been cut too low, and it's touching on there, so that's essentially going to corrode, and it hasn't been cut neatly. Whether that's a code issue. Other problem is, see how this here, that flicks around the corner as butting into there. So that's essentially, if you look up that, that's not sealed at all. So that's essentially relying 100% on render to seal that gap and that board. So that needs to be more like that there. So if you look at there, that flashing needs to return and go under there, and that needs to create some form of waterproof lining. So where this sheet here sits onto there and then can be fixed back, and it is then secured and watertight, and that any water that would go into there or into that area would come down onto that there, right? So on this section here, so what would need to happen is if this flashing was installed behind this board, then that would alleviate any chance of water going in sideways on that there. So far there's one issue. The gap from the bottom, that's pretty good. There's like a nice, oh, hang on. No, that's not consistent. No, that's really bad. Look at this. That's just stepping up and down, and that's quite horrible. We've got one rivet in the face with no rivets over the top of this. That there needs to have rivets every 40 millimeters and needs to be undersealed. It looks to have been undersealed, but if you look at the back here, that is definitely not undersealed. So no underseal. That needs to all come off. That all needs to be done again. Rightio. So looking back on, you can see the bottom of those edges. That's just not sitting nicely. So that's something to do with. It's probably sat this on there and it's not sitting nicely. So that is what that is. And again, you got the same issue continuing down there. So looking at the bottom of those, which you wouldn't be able to pick from the road, but yeah, it needs to come off anyway, because that there isn't undersealed, and so the back section, that's just going to leak every day of the week. Rightio, now to the window flashings. So a heap of silicone, clear silicone, which is going to turn brown, which is a aesthetic thing. It's a bit ugly. And then it's just been siliconed all around the bottom there into that join. It's really quite hard to see here. Also, you can see here that there is falling backwards. That is not level. So let me sit you there. You can see I don't have a level on me. So here's going to kick my butt. Come on, get your tools ready, mate. So on that there, this needs to fall out. So the way that works is from the window, just like a head flashing up the top, the window, that needs to fall like that away. So any water that falls into the window, comes out there, weep holes there or what have you, will run away. At this point in time, what's happening is that, and you can see that it's dirty in there, water is collecting in that section and it's going through and leaking. Well, it will be leaking. You can see that that's just a heap of silicone, and I can see just in there that the silicone's failed. Also right in that corner where the silicone's failed. So not looking good. That side there is pretty flat. Anyway, let's move on. That needs to be completely removed. That fails, and it's all relied on silicone. So let's see. This one's exactly the same. Let's have a look at this one. So window install on this right here. Look at this. So that silicone down the back. This is falling back that way. That's quite a mean fall. It's quite. I don't know if you can pick that here. That's falling a good 2 degrees backwards into the window, and that's relying completely on silicone. Again, seal, do your best, silicone the rest. Well, your best wasn't good enough, so either learn how to do it or don't do it, one of the two. So then again, the detail's neat enough. I think the detail, the way it's been done, not so much there. That tag at the end, that needs to be tagged up and folded up again. And the rivets used, they've got number 30 rivets. I highly recommend using a number 20 rivet, but that's my own personal feelings towards the matter. Oh, whoa, whoa, whoa. What do you call that? That there is, that's not good. One good thing is, look, they've done the every 40mm rivets. Problem with that though is this here flashing is falling backwards, back into the back of that flashing there. And again, this flashing here, that is wrong. You can see the batten straight through the wall there. So I don't know how that is ever meant to be waterproofed. Yeah. So again, this issue there, that's just, that all needs to come off. That there, if you're going to have that exposed like that, that needs to come up with a pressure flashing, where it comes up, has a little break on it, or it comes up, then you have another K flashing over the top with the pressure flashing that allows the flexibility and the movement in that. But again, this section here, how do you do that properly? Well, that's going to be rendered, and you don't want to render over the top of Colorbond, because potentially that Colorbond will corrode. So where that there is on there would take some creativity from and working with the builder to potentially put a flashing underneath an aluminium flashing that would become a stop on the end for the render, and the render would render into the aluminium flashing, giving a separation between the Colorbond and the cement or the grout or the render that goes onto there and stopping that from corroding. But the way that that is there now just is a fail, and you would not get a warranty. All right, let's go round. Ooh, this is where it's starting to get fun. All right, so this is, I think where it just got a bit hard. So they've started, or they've fixed the sheets on here. Up there, oh. The flashings, yeah, again, I don't need to keep bantering on. Look, the peaky hole. All right, so we can see what they're doing underneath here. They've got a really nice size upstand on that sheet there. And get the flashing on here. It's doing its job, looking all right. We come up on here again, and what do we see? We see a whole heap of silicon. Rightio, so now we're looking at you've got a bit of a problem here. Something's not straight, because that's stepping underneath, and it's stepping and stepping and stepping the whole way down. That's tight on that corner, and then there's big gaps all the way through there. And then this has been finished sitting. There's nothing there for any form of waterproofing. Everything's going to have to be over flashed and relied upon after the fact. All right, okay. I think we might have to climb up there now. I'm going to take us back and have a quick look over the top of where I was just looking. Okay, so if you see here, you can see a bunch of silicon in the corner there. And mould. There's a heap of mould all along there. So let's have a look at this. So this has been cut, and that looks like that's been cut with an angle grinder. That's not good. It's not good to cut them with an angle grinder. And I don't know, where's my camera? Where's the lens? I don't know if we can see, but that there is straight through to the sarking. There is no sealant whatsoever. That's completely open to the weather, and water would run straight in there. So there's no tag on any of this. There's no under seal work. As you can see here, there's a big gap that's just moving all by itself. No sealant whatsoever. That there is a fail, and that will fail forever. That will. All right, let's keep going. Okay, some more angle grinder cuts, as you can see there. Yep, you can see it's already corroding on that edge, and it's been cut. Again, look at this. So what's happening under here? Can we see that there is just the inside of a window flashing? So they've tagged the top one down and this one over it. Yeah, that's what they've got there. There's no drip edge on this. This is just running straight, so water can run straight into there. There's just a heap of silicon up in that corner there. It's just bogged up. Look at that, straight inside. I mean, that's sarking down to there. And if you see there, can you see right? Can you see it? Come on. Get me there. You can see the blue wrap there. That blue sarking or proctor wrap is meant to be going over the top of the head flashing of this flashing here. It's meant to sit over the top of that head flashing so that the water, if it does fail, right? If water gets through any of this, it'll run down and follow the system of the wall wrap, the wall sarking, as that's what it's meant to do. So this one has failed to do that. So all of that needs to come off to meet code and to be done properly. Okay, then right, let's have a look up here. Oh, it's just, again, needs to be flashed properly, and a bit of work with the builder to coordinate how that goes up against the rendered wall to make sure it doesn't corrode early. Right here. Okay. Got the same issue again here. Alright, same issue, sarking. There's still plastic on that flashing back there. You can see, look at this. Oh, what the? Okay, there's right. Okay, there's still the plastic protective coating. Is that on the whole thing? Oh, that's on the whole. It's on the whole thing. Look at that. So it's still got the plastic coating. They covered the whole thing already. Left the plastic coating on there. Again, here we go. We've got a flashing here which is sitting up, water tracking back into there. The side of the window, well, that's essentially, you could say, is the builder on the builder, not on the installation of these sheets here. Again, you've got one number 30 rivet there, and one at the bottom for that, and water's just going to go in there, and water's going to go in behind there. You can see that the battens are there, sarking there. That's failed. It's a big fail. And you got the same issues again, just a bunch of silicone. Again. Same thing. All right. Oh, it is. Can you see that? If you look at each one of the heads of the windows, they're not lined up. They're not level. They are all over the place. The flashing's sitting in the lap of the flashing. That's terrible. Again, angle grinder cuts on the sheets. Angle grinder cuts on the sheets. Angle grinder cuts on the flashings. No sealant at all under any of that. Just a heap of silicone on the flashing there, which will fail. Just the way that it is. Like, sealant is good to do as a last resort. That's completely relying on that. And again, here we go. I don't even want to keep walking down here, but I will, because you can see here, like that isn't even cut properly. And again, cut with an angle grinder. You can see the corrosion on that already. On there, it's cut along there. You can see it rusting, completely rusting on that section there. Right, there we go. And look, it's been marked. It's a text. This is getting quite depressing. If you look there, water's just going to go straight inside that. Yes, you have an eave. All right, okay, we've got an eave, but water is going to go sideways and go in that hole every time. And if you look down the side, oh, hang on, look at that. Window flashing. That is just going straight inside. That flashing there will, can we see the back of it in behind here? That flashing will be like a U shape, I dare say, underneath there going back that way. So the water's going to go in there, hit that flashing, and then run and go wherever it wants to go. Let's keep going. Well, there's no sarking underneath that batten. That needs to be done. You can see that they've got a receiver channel here. Yeah, it sort of works. It's not sitting flush. They've put screws in the top there, as you can see, but it's still not sitting flush. It's sitting out a tad. So yeah, you can see that on this end how it's bent over. So that's never going to be a good thing. So what actually needs to happen is, before this gets sheeted, there needs to be a corner flashing installed prior to the installing of the sheets. These flashings need to be on before the sheets go on. And then this damp course here, well, that's good. Well, all well and good. That's good to have there. This needs to have sarking that runs under that, down over here and over the top of the head flashing that'll run across here. All right. Oh, again, look at that. There's a roof installed where there's no 40mm rivet spacings. That's not very good. And you can see it's just gone in with silicone on the join there. That there's come around the corner, and we've got rivet. There needs to be some rivets in there and underseal it. That's been oversealed. Yeah, not good. And if that's what's happening on that side, then that needs to happen on the other side as well. And as we spoke about before, that's not that'll never be a waterproof. That'll never be waterproof. This has to come off. This has to come off, and then the starter flashing needs to go on there. That section all needs to be redone, because obviously it needs to be undersealed and riveted. And I dare say that none of this, as you can see, look at this. None of that is. Let me see if I can get a piece of stick And see if I can stick the stick up. There we go, all the way up there. There's no underseal on that whatsoever. So, all this, and you can see with all the, I mean, it's just rubbish everywhere. So, let's have a look at how they've done the head flash. Oh, there's a bit of a head knock. Oh, okay, so that's not done properly, and that will leak. There's a hole right there where it will leak, and that looks fairly neat along there, though. I'm going to give them that. That there is, they've struggled, but I mean, the fact that they've cut that nicely, they put a bit of an edge on there and a bit of an edge to put that together, that's half decently neat. But the way that that's all finished in there is not good. This here is sitting down too low, and the way that that's gone in, yeah, is not right. Leaving a gap there, as you can see here, that'll go in. I mean, the good thing about this is that the water will go into there and then run all the way to the bottom, and then it'll be able to come out of the track because, oh, hang on, no, it won't, because of silicon the bottom of this. And you can see where the silicon's failed on there, so that's not good either. Oh, this is quite depressing, walking around seeing all of this, but that needs to come off, which means all of this cladding needs to come off, which this is 165. Let me put a tape measure onto it. That is the 165 product. I dare say, looking at what's downstairs, from in a basalt. It's not basalt matte. I thought it was basalt matte, but it's just in basalt. So here we go. Again, yeah, that's not very tidy, and that's not good. And that there is straight up leaking. That's not how you do it. What needs to happen, it needs to have a little step coming down, coming in, and that can't be any wider than that actual head flashing. That head flashing needs to finish in line with this edge and go back, and then it gets complete underseal in behind all of that. So that needs to come off, and that needs to be redone as well. Oh, they've done a neat job here. That's actually they've done well there, I think. What they've done is they've used an under. They've used an under on this sheet here, wrapped it around the corner, and then turned that into the underside for the interlock panel, the Highland tray interlock panel that's running along there. So that's pretty cool, and I take my hat off to them for putting that little bit of effort in. I dare say what they've done is they've started with that corner, and then they've locked this one in and locked in and moved all the way down there and sheeted all the way up there, giving a really cool looking kind of a finish. So what is this? That's hard. It feels like a render or something. It's coming down from somewhere. Well, we'll have a look and we'll jump up there in a second. Yeah. Again, we've got other than this corrosion that's on here, that is not too bad. Except, oh no, it's falling backwards. That can't do that. It can't fall backwards. Oh no, look at that. There's a big hole. Oh no. What is that? What is that? What is going on? And this, see this here? This here is falling backwards. I'm gonna actually get it level and snap it. So 4.6 degrees falling backwards. Yeah, that's all got to come off. That whole lot has to come off. Sitting down, like you can see that there's rust from the swarf all over the roof. And that's quite common on bankrupt builders' houses. Again, here we go. There's all that corrosion. Where is it coming from? So the roof is done, you know, they've painted the rivets and it looks like they've undersealed it and they've gone every 40 mil. That's good. It's good to see, and they're scribing. They've done a fairly good job. Pretty happy with that. If you look at the sheets here, the sheets have been turned down as per code, and we look under here and see that they've cut the dog's ear. So obviously that's unfinished, but yeah. So you got to tick the box for them. The guys that put the roof on seem to know what they're doing, in the most part. If you look at the joint again here, that appears to be undersealed, and they've got the rivets. I mean, they've touched up the rivets, which is a bit unsightly, but it doesn't affect code and compliance. It's just ugly, right? All right, let's keep walking around this bad boy. Ooh, some big dents put in the roof. All right, so here we go. Here's another flashing that this doesn't meet code. You don't have your 40 mil rivets. So this should have, these rivets are sitting at, what are they? They are 90 millimeters apart. So even if you were to put one in between, that still wouldn't meet code. They need to be every 40 millimeters on flashing joins on laps like that, as per HB 39 and AS 1562.1. Rightio, so here's our corner. There's some issues going on with the wall, apparently in this section, that I can't really see about, other than the fact that it's been... God, so what, okay, here's an interesting fact. Okay, so up the top there you can see, and I'll get a bit closer in a minute, that the top flashing has tucked up underneath the fascia, creating the drip edge, so that if water was to get in there, it would drip out. And the issue with up this top corner there, as you can see, is that it hasn't been finished in a way that it actually works. That should be coming out to that point and then be sealed across the top of that properly, which it isn't. All right, let's keep looking, Now, something I noticed actually, have a look here. Have a look here. Now, Zahir, if you're watching, my man, do they need to have sarking on the outside of that parapet wall? I kind of think that they do. I feel that that's missing some sarking. That's missing the wall wrap, the Proctor wrap that's required for the Colorbond cladding. So as you can see here, there's nothing. There's no cladding whatsoever. No sarking whatsoever. I might be wrong. They've done turn-ups on the sheets, and that's nice. The turn-ups are actually better than I've seen many times, so good on them. Good on team for doing that. Now let's jump up on here. Ooh, that ain't good. All right, look at this, some more scratching, a mismeasure and a cut, corrosion happening along there, and yeah, again, just inconsistency of the sheet sitting on the heads. Again, here you go, you've just got a cut, angle grinded sheet. It's cut across there. That's just wrong. That's not sitting well. There you've got holes in the top here. There's missing. It's just not watertight. It's got a hole up the top there. Then if we look, oh, what is going on here? What is that? That's mold over the top of the clear silicone. I'm not going to touch that. But that there again is falling backwards instead of falling the way that it's meant to, which is out towards the outside of the building. So again, if we look here, that there is, there's no waterproofing at all going on with that. That's not how that's meant to be. Okay. Yes. Oh, again, all right, look at that. You've got a big hole. Water's just going to run straight inside there again. So you've got entry straight into your house. Can anyone tell me what is going on here? Why am I looking at that with a mind that is going, when did the people putting this roof on go to TAFE? Or to, when did they learn and get qualified as a roofer? Because that sarking on the wall needs to come out and go over the top of that apron. I mean, this is roofing 101. This is the basics. This is what you learn straight off the bat. Pretty quickly, it's waterproofing. What is the job of a roofer? You're making the water get from the top of the roof down into the stormwater drain or outside of the building envelope without it entering the house. So here, if water was to get, let's look at this. If water was to get through that hole, oh, but it's okay because it's going to be protected by the waterproofing system underneath that wall. Okay, cool. So here's the waterproofing system underneath. Let's follow that waterproofing system down and down and down and down and down, and it's going down into the house because that's the house under there. So the water's going to go down into the house. Yeah. All right, let's go up into the next level. Yeah, what a view. Here we go, the roof. Got a view over the local Woolies. There we go. That lets you know where we are anyway, if someone recognises that Woolworths. There's Big Gun Butcher over there. Rightio. So, something I didn't mention before was the width of these sheets. That is a 495 cover sheet. Or actually the cover is probably closer to 510, but it's 495 edge to edge. All right. Which way do we go? Let's walk down. Nah, we'll come back. I'm gonna go the other way and come back to that corroded section. So here we go. We've got roof battens on, and what are the centers on this one? Roof battens on at 900 centers. Very happy. And do they have a safety batten? No safety batten. Yeah. Oh, it's on now. They're safe. Okay, so here we have an apron that's installed. Okay, they haven't finished, so I'm not going to make comment on any of that because it's just not finished. All right, so we continue to walk around here. Got the roof on. It's all looking pretty. The roof's all right. Look, the roof's looking pretty good. Still that top section. All right, so obviously they've just put a temporary flashing over the top. That's probably the best waterproofing this job has on it. So, all right, let's go back around that other side. Okay, so let's have a better look at how this flashing up the top here has been done. You can see on there that flashing. So this, what you have is this under flashing. Oh, hang on. That's not even sealed or under sealed. So if water was to get in that gap there, let me zoom back out. If water was to get underneath this flashing, that's going straight inside. So that whole corner needed to have been siliconed up. There's not even signs. Like this has been pulled apart again by someone. You can see that there was never any silicon. That there has been stop-ended onto there. Yeah, it's pretty atrocious. I mean, the system, the idea works of putting that up underneath the fascia. What would be a better idea, or if I were the one that was specifying or designing or installing this, is I would completely remove this metal fascia. That wouldn't exist. And the flashing that would go on there would become a two as one that would receive all of that cladding down there, and then it would be put on first, then you'd go through, put the cladding on, giving it a complete watertight system. The same thing could happen here as well with this flashing. That fascia could go and these sheets could have run all the way up to the top and given a really nice finish. But yeah, there's many ways to skin a cat, and this is one of them. And if done properly, it definitely could you know, give a good result. This time it hasn't. So let's walk along here and check out these. I'm just going to notice some of the duck pond that's up here. There's a brand new house, brand new roof, and it's holding water before the dropper, right? There's two droppers, one, two. There's no water in there. That's good. That's what you want to see. But from here all the way down to, is it the next drop? It's silicon. I mean, sorry, it's water. It's a pond. You got a join here. Well, that's good. That you can see that that's holding some water, which is awesome. Keep coming through here. So that's all duck pond until we get to the next dropper. So between this point here and that point there, it's actually not falling properly. And you can see from here that it's just falling to the middle. So that's that gutter needs to come off and be replaced or at least rectified. However, I'd be replacing it due to the condition of it. Or maybe you could adjust it just by lifting it, but that potentially has a problematic to crack any silicon that's on that when you lift that, because that should have been joined, which it has. Heap of silo over the back of that, very good. It's on snap clips, so you can see on that snap clip that it's got room to come up. Let's get on there. It's got room to come up at least one more, and you could lower this one that down, and that would hopefully fix that. So it's not the end of the world. Let's again look at these. They've cut their dog's ears off. So talking about dog's ear is the underlap of the trim deck sheeting, or the super deck sheeting if this is... here we go, along here. Now, this is what I was trying to work out before. This has got corrosion all over this, starting from up the top here. I don't know what it is, but that is corrosive. That is like salt. That is essentially rusty. I've never seen this before. If you know what is causing this, it'd be great to know. That's atrocious. You can see how on the bottom of these sheets here, this one here, that's been folded underneath. This one's been folded underneath. That one's been cut with an angle grinder. As you can tell it's cut by an angle grinder. It's even like they've used a really super thin blade because it's cut and gone across there. Perfect, nice, neat cut, and then they've gone in and just hoped for the best. But water's going straight in there because like there's no sealant. It hasn't been done. It doesn't meet any form of waterproofing. It's quite poor on how that's been done. So, and same issue down the side here. None of that's altered. But look at that corrosion. It's all coming from up the top here, which is strange. And then if you look there, it's sitting along the top, sitting all along there. So there's a couple of dents on there. I don't know if you can see that. Some undue pressure. But you can see that right on there where this top flashing has been screwed into the... Can you see that? There's a screw right there. Let me see if I can change the angle. There it is. There's a screw going through there up into the fascia, and that's all pulled out. So if you look at this, actually, wow. If you look from here, I don't know if you can tell in this video, but that fascia is bowing substantially. This whole roof is bowing substantially. I might, yeah, that's quite bad. It's certainly not square, and that would lead to why the installer may have thought that he'd done a great job, but he hasn't, and the roof's bowing a huge amount. So that roof needs to be fixed up before anything can be done on this. As you can see there, look at the gap between the roof and the fascia there. Now let's go down here. And the gap between the roof and the fascia there is non-existent. That is hard down on the fascia. Now let's see if we can get a measurement on this section here. That is a good... it's gonna be at least 20 millimeters. I can't get right in there. Yes, so that is that. But they cut the dog's ears off, so that's good. Gutters look okay. But then again, we come down to this section and see this corrosion. That's just mad. I'm getting attacked here by a Spidey. Maybe I'll become Spider-Man, that'd be cool. I don't want that responsibility. Look, we've got a black rivet and a basalt rivet. And then a basalt rivet again, but here we go. I don't know what is causing that. I'd love it if someone could tell me, but I'm looking around here and I just can't see the reason for it. But it's certainly going to eat into the sheets. Yeah, well, that's just with a bit of saliva. It's bringing some off, but it's still leaving a big... It's eaten into the sheets there already, so there's that warranty voided before the job was even completed. So it's very, very interesting as to why that's all happening. And there's nothing I can see which is obvious about it. Yeah, but that's a fail. Regardless, that's all a fail. And looking down on that, that's all siliconed in the bottom. So if that's siliconed in the bottom and there's no way of any water getting out, then that's also a fail. So I would be calling that nothing here on this job has been done properly. Nothing's meeting code, and the entirety of it needs to be removed and redone. Yes. So, but if you come down here, let's see if we can see the bow in this roof. I reckon the scaffold is straighter than this roof. Let's see if we can see it here. All right. Look at that. That's shocking. That's up and down, and if you look at the fascia as well. The fascia's doing the same thing. It goes down here, goes up there, then comes down again. Rightio. Well, I think I've seen enough at this point, so my statement to the builder is to rip the whole lot off and start again. The roof, well, that's up to him what he wants to do with that, but the frame is not in QE. That's just not right. All of this cladding's failing. It's all done wrong. So I'm going to go now, take some photos of the job so that I can share that with the team and come up with some solutions and a proposal for the builder to fix it up. So thanks for joining me today on one of Australia's worst cladding installations. All right, something just before I left, I just stood down here taking some photos. There's no support on this flashing. It's yeah, not good. Not good. See if we can get up underneath all of that. See how that's been waterproof. So that's just the top of the sheets right there with a squash fold on that. The sheets just go straight inside. That's straight inside. Straight inside. So the way that the flash this was, that goes up, I can get my finger into the frame. Yep. All that has to come off. Completely cactus. Ooh, some bonus video. Oh, I just found this. Just looking around, look at you see that sheet, they put a screw in. That screw's not going into anything. Ah, I know what it is. It's going into the flashing that's behind it, but it's not actually going into the flashing that's behind it. Ay, ay, ay. What's worse about this is the fact that the guys installing it knew that that was falling backwards, and they still continued and they siliconed all of that up. Yeah, not good. You can see all that section there, it's not even finished. I'm not even going to go and look at that from up here. The wobble board. Look at that, straight inside. It's nice and watertight. Not, that's horrible. They went to the point of siliconing all of that. Failed on sealing up their window flashings.